We're glad to be home. Glad to see all of you. First off, I'd like to say that every new administration that comes in has their own specific way of dealing with the issues of the tribe. And I know that this is the new administration starting, and I'm hoping that, for as long as possible, that we give them the support to try to accomplish some of these things that they're saying they're going to do. I also like to caution against setting your goals too high. I've been to some of the meetings. I've heard them say that that Hammon declined during Boswell administration, and that they were going to increase the revenue. That's a bold statement to make, and I certainly hope it does happen. But that's what I mean about cautioning, about setting your goals too high. And to also, I've heard several statements about the past administration, and that upsets me a little bit because they want to claim that they didn't know anything about pokertribes.com, and that is certainly not true. I sat in on meetings where they discussed pokertribes.com, and from my memory, these two gentlemen up here were present at that meeting. Now, I'll agree with Bruce that we didn't know the amount, 9.6 million, but we certainly knew that they were going to sign a letter of intent, and that's what was done. Also, the viewpoint on authorizing this money before I actually got down to the tribe, as Pete Salinas here mentions with the Godfrey letter, that's true as well. So some of these things, you can't just start pointing a finger and blaming people. I served under the Boswell administration. I can stand up here today and tell you that I know for a fact that she did not take one single penny of tribal money for her own use. And I would testify to that in court. Now, this district, we need a lot of help. And I have a lot of encouragement and support for Kyle, because he's going to need the strong support of this community. And I will tell you, in my 30 years with tribal government, that they have always tried to leave this district out. And everybody here knows it. But yet, this community is the strongest community that will stick together and stay strong for their representative. Because they did for me, and I appreciate it. Some of the things, some people will not get up and say really what's on their mind. Bruce talked about increasing that minimum wage. Well, Obama already increased it to $10. And now he's talking about $8 and $9. That's not a whole lot for our minimum wage, and probably almost everybody in this room is minimum wage. So that's one thing we tell our legislator over here. Make it more than $8 or $9. Make it $10. Talk about housing authority. I'll tell you right now, I'm opposed to the tribe taking over the housing authority. And I was in at that same meeting with Bruce. And to be honest, I don't remember Wayne Sims encouraging us to take over the housing authority. He did say that we could if we wanted to. But there's a lot involved in taking over an entity like that. He says nothing's going to change, but yes, it will. You got your insurance, you got taxes. It's now the tribe that will be responsible for the eviction process of the people in these homes. Can they do that? Those are some of the things we considered as to why we chose not to take that step at that time. There's a lot of repairs that are going to have to be made. There's future housing that still needs to come to these young people that don't have homes yet. There's a lot involved. And I'm not standing up here just to gripe and complain and say our administration was the best. It wasn't. We could have made a lot more improvements. But I will stand up here and say that be careful when you start pointing that finger, because you still have the future that we're looking at to see what you're going to accomplish. And I'd like to say personally to Mr. Salinas there, if you're going to do a Facebook page and call it Tribal Council, then at least tell the truth. If not, at least try to get the facts.
Can you point out some lies? Can you point out some lies that are on there? You're not going to point out some lies. What's on there that are lies?
That's enough. That's enough.
You call me a liar, point out some lies.